I went home to Plains.
We covered a lot of ground, but it was.
Sanders County Fair, the parking was amazing. They must have had 100 camper trailers along the riverside, and a couple of the guys there went out their pasture after they paid in the park. It was huge.
What was the event?
Sanders County Fair.
Oh.
The fairgrounds look nice. In fact, the Goshes were up there for a high school rodeo early this summer. They said it was very clean. Must have new people in charge of it. Grandstands are bigger than what we have here at Dillon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They don't have very much on the other side though, just up on the grandstand side. And they used to have horse racing, so they still have that track.
We had a guy here years ago that was back here. That was a popular thing with horse racing when I was a kid. Parimutuel.
Commercial betting.
That's the right word, parimutuel horse betting.
I don't think they had them when we moved to Plains, and I'm sure they haven't had them since. But they finish up with a demolition derby. And then they spend forever trying to pick up all parts and pieces.
Well, yeah, welcome to the club.
Yeah. Did they got a magnet or something?
I don't know how they do it. They used to have a Fair Queen contest. And the 5 little towns in Sanders County would send a representative and have a talent show. And I got to be the master of ceremonies there a couple of times.
Never seen a fair queen here. I've seen a rodeo queen numerous times.
Yeah.
Every year up until 5, 6, 8 years ago. And they quit it.
And my dad was a VFW and an American Legion member. So those guys ran the beer booth. And after I moved back to Montana, Dad would always sign me up for Saturday and Sunday night to work the beer booth. And that way he always knew
Where he worked.
he knew he'd have a sober ride home because the veterans wouldn't let you drink because we were still returning change.
Yeah.
They hadn't started buying tickets and that kind of stuff.
All right, I guess, close enough. Review and action on school budgets. County Superintendent Mike, you got the floor, I guess.
Well, I kind of jumped the gun on Thursday, or Wednesday, whatever the day it was, and brought you these things. This is all the work of Rita Mundy, Michelle Davis Hughes, Stacy Stetzer, Darcy and Shay Bays out at Lima, Suzanne Volek here at BCHS, and Daleen Honkamp out at the Reichley School, and then Casey Switcher. They put all this together and with the work of their school boards and submitted to me. And then I put the mills as they submitted them onto Schedule C. That's what we called it last year. I don't know where. And on those 2 pages. And then the last pages are the same numbers, those items, and they're placed in a listing there, so you can see the changes from the previous year and see any trends that might be set up. There were a couple of new ones. Tuition at Wise River, not Wise River, Reichley, 22.74. We put. I'm assuming that has gone up because of the passage of a House Bill 203, which was the free where the parents could send their children to any school that they wanted. But the school that now houses the children charges tuition to the previous school district. So the Reichley School has a number of kids that are going to here to Parkview or to the Dillon Middle School, and they will in exchange there are a number of kids who live in this elementary district here that go to school in Reichley, and so I'm not sure what Parkview Dillon, yeah, Dillon District number 10, it just has 1.55 mils. So there must not be as many kids expected to go to Reichley as before. And there were other schools there that didn't have tuition until this year. Didn't I? Where, yeah, in Lima. Lima had tuition this year, yeah. And those kids come to school to Dillon.
All possibility of Jackson.
There was a kid from the Polaris School District who went all the way to Lima. No, not Polaris. Yeah, Polaris.
Well, that's a ways.
But I talked to the mom, and I think the other three kids and the little daughter who's coming up, she turned 5, but she'll turn 5 too early so that she can't go to school. But they're going to send everybody else back to Polaris. The older boy's now in high school, and Polaris doesn't have to pay tuition for him.
So the way this works is Reichley did that tuition, so the kids that in the Reichley school district that come here, Reichley pays the Dillon district.
Yes.
But the Dillon district raises a bunch of money because they've got kids that go
To
someplace
Reichley,
else,
yeah.
Reichley or Twin Bridges or wherever the kids go. They gotta pay those schools.
Yeah.
Who figures all that out?
OPI has a calculator, and it's online, and it's provided to all of the school districts so that they can figure out what they're going to have to pay, so they can ask for the levies, and they also will find out what the sending district will be paying them. We had a mess at Wisdom Wise River. We had 2 little kids whose parents are building a home in their home district of Divide. But they stayed in Wise River for a little bit and went to school in Divide. So Wise River charges Divide for the tuition. But then they moved and they stayed in a place in Wise River, or they moved to the new house. It wasn't completed, but they went to the new house in Divide, but the kids went to school in Wise River. So the tuition reversed from the Divide school from the Wise River school to the Divide district. And we also had a situation where we had a student who lives right in Wise River, just across from the store. And she goes to school in Divide and has been going to school there since 5th grade, I think, 6th grade maybe. So she cost the Wise River district a full year of tuition to the Divide school. And I complained a little bit because she graduated she was promoted from the 8th grade, not 2025, but in 2024. And the school board held her back at the request of her parents. They said she was not mature enough to go to high school. Had she gone on to high school, it wouldn't have cost the Wise River school a dime. But it cost her, I think it was $2,800. And I called and I was very polite. You can't believe that, but I was very polite. I talked to Jim O'Neill, who was the county superintendent at Youth Silver Bowl, and I complained bitterly about it because this was her 10th, count 10 years in elementary school. She was held back by the Wise River School about 3rd grade, and then she was held back after being promoted out of the 8th grade. So I was a little upset with him. And of course, he wasn't there. He came in halfway through the school year, so he was very nice to me. He didn't come down and punch my lights out or anything. So that's my report. That's the stuff from those fine clerks who did all the work and provided them. Mr. Jackson signed all the forms that were necessary. We did that already.
So what do we have to do, just approve this?
Technically, you don't get to approve it.
That's what
because
I'm wondering,
the,
yeah.
The school boards have
That's
already.
what I thought, yeah.
approved this. So they just have to show us and notify the county commissioners of their work.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Of their budget, and then that last thing we do is set the mill levies. That is our.
yeah, that is your job. Is there anything else?
Anybody?
I'm here.
I got nothing.
And this is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. This is like the transportation meetings. Randy Shipman sits there, he points at his watch when I'm starting the meeting. I'm keeping track of this one. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes,
We had that levy last year that trying to get the technology stuff that didn't pass after 2 tries and not passing. How do we make up for that?
the technology, they asked for 1.74 mils for technology, and I don't know whether that is for replacement of anything over there at BCHS. For the Dillon Elementary, they also asked about 2.32 mils. So I don't know whether
They probably just get it out of their budget, they just dig it out of their
they
budget.
have to take it out. of the
Yeah, that's all they can
out of the
do.
General fund.
Either do it or
Or let it go.
Yeah, only place they can go. And do is just recover it out of the budget.
And it was 2 years ago, I think, the Dillon Elementary School District replaced their Promethean boards. They had, they are the smart boards. Not,
Okay, I knew, I just didn't.
they replaced, I believe they replaced 16 of those. And they gave away the older ones, which were anywhere from 5 to 6 to 7 years old. So some of their stuff is pretty old. And then the other stuff must be fairly new. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'm going back and doing some testing.
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, they, these boards, about the size of your phone or what? How big is a board?
No, it's like the size of a whiteboard, or some are the size of the TV, but the teacher can do stuff directly on it. Like instead of a whiteboard, like you use a dry erase marker, or a chalkboard, you use
Yeah.
chalk. It just writes directly on it with one of those. Do you have the fancy pen right now with a little bulb on the end? Yeah, so it'll write on it with something like this. That's like a rubber.
Yeah. I know.
And- And then you can wipe it or whatever, and it'll pull images directly from the computer up there instead of having to be connected to all sorts of fancy stuff.
I had a sheltered childhood.
Yeah, we had a good one. Chalkboard and eraser.
And even squeaks.
Yeah.
Squeaky chalkboard.
I didn't even have one of those whenever I was a teacher, and that was only like 5 years ago, so.
Well,
They're fancy.
that's quite a word they attached to it, whatever she said.
I think that's the brand name. That is basically a smartboard.
Oh,
Close it for you.
Guess we can go. All right. First item, action, resolution 2025-17, setting elected official salaries. And, you want me to read these? Or?
No, that's the one we did at the compensation board meeting. Nothing really changed since that time, so I move to approve resolution 25-17.
Motion carries.
Those are three different ones. Those are the next three. So this is the next one, and then that's the built.
Oh.
And then that's the other one.
Okay. That don't have to be signed.
I don't think so. I think y'all just approve them, the bills and the entitlement share.
Yeah, the next one's that.
Mhm.
25-18.
25-18.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
I'll just go like this the way.
oh, okay.
Okay, resolution 25-18, reallocating the one half of 1% vehicle tax. When you register vehicles under 1 ton, you pay that half of 1%. We reallocated this, or 70% of the money goes to the road, 30% goes to the general fund.
Good.
It is distributed also with the cities and stuff through a formula, but that's our portion of it. So I move we approve 25-18.
Is there a second?
Okay.
All in favor, signify by aye.
Alright,
Aye, motion carries.
next one is, the PILT money. It's just it's not really done by resolution. It's just a form or a document there so everybody knows where the PILT money gets distributed this year. If I'm not mistaken, and we put 500,000 toward in the general fund, 500,000 in public safety, which is down 100,000 from what we had last year. 50,000 went into employee fund or whatever, is when we pay, where we collect or keep money is when employees retire or quit. We gotta pay out the vacation and sick leave is in that fund, employee, whatever they call it, that needed refunded. And 50,000 into, interoperability Montana.
Okay.
Interoperability and 911, since interoperability went away, or the program went away, but it's still in effect and ties with 911. We combine those two funds together into 911. And what little revenue comes from interoperability Montana, we just combine it with the 911 fund. So there's the other 50,000 we put into that fund. That's the 110,000 of the approximately 114 that we got in. And there was another 600,000, I do believe, that's allocated to be spent in PILT if we need to. So I guess I move we approve the PILT distribution and the entitlement sale distribution. Let's get on to that. Is the state money that comes from the fund, or the entitlement fund that we collect here at the county. It all goes to the state, and they by formula send it all back. That includes the county attorney salary, all that money that we're entitled to get back. So that's what those two are for.
Okay. Is there a second?
Move to approve.
Is there something? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That's not it. This is the next.
This is
one.
the upcoming one.
A resolution to establish increased fees for solid waste and,
Okay, 2519, and this is what the solid waste board took action on. But I thought it was only appropriate to go through the commission board here, so it's at least documented. So when we start searching this back 20 years from now, when we set raises or wages or the rates up, they'll be able to find what it is
Yeah.
here. So that is why it is on here, 2019, I move its adoption.
Second.
second. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Next one is resolution number 2025-20. It's a resolution to set the new maximum levy for the county voter levies.
Yes.
Okay, that's a resolution that, since the state legislature, dropped the taxable value from 1.35 to 0.76 on residential property, which drastically cut the certified taxable value of all counties. So if you had a fixed mill, a voted mill, like the fire departments had, the weed had the 2.5, public health had a 5, library has 4, search and rescue has 2, animal shelter has 2. So when they cut the taxable value, that dropped the dollars of all those voted mills get. So through the part of the legislation, this year you had to recalculate the maximum mill levy that those funds could get. So they got the same amount of money dollar-wise as last year. So that increased going forward forever of those mill levies on those voted mills. And it's in the resolution what they were and what they moved up to. And then for next year, you've got the two options, and that's either to put the dollar amount in there, which is subject to 15-10-420, which means it increases due to growth in the county, or you can leave it as a mill levy, and as the growth of the county grows, it grows, which is the same damn thing. And I don't see how you can ever have a different number. So since we run by mill levies, and you must have a mill levy, you got to use the mill levies to get it into a tax bill. So our resolution states that we are going to leave it as the mill levy, and it reads through there, and attached is the copy of House Bill 231, whatever that one is, explaining what the heck they did, and if it's ever found illegal to raise the voted mills that the people voted on, there's a formula the state's going to pay us back.
Maybe.
So I moved the adoption of 2025, 20.
Second.
All in favor, signify by aye.
Right.
Aye, you want that?
And any questions, you might have to do that case. I know that's a complicated piece, but I don't think so.
Chances are limited on. It's gotta be there.
All right, resolution number 2025-21, resolution adopting final budget Beaverhead County for fiscal year 25-26.
Okay, and that's the attachments, not attachments, they're schedules. Schedule A and Schedule B. Schedule A deals with the taxes. Schedule B is what they call the non-tax resolution. And on those two, you can't add them together and say that's the budget, because there's a lot on the non-tax that is distributed through the taxes, non-tax revenue on the tax bills. Health in particular. Health is on here where we're spending $2 million. Health is on this page where we're spending $2 million. It's the same money, but it's not spent out of this pocket, it's spent on this one. So you can't add them together. But anyway, I guess just a real quick scenario on that is this year, the appropriation for Beaverhead County is $13,644,200. That is a 5.3% increase from the previous year. Tax dollars on the revenue side of it. I think I talked about it this morning, that it's run on that formula. The portion that we are allowed to tax is up 3.4%. Add in the voted mills that we just talked about, realizing that the last 2 years, our voted mill people have not requested their full mill levy. For 2 years, we have not taxed the people because of the request of them. This year, most of them have requested the full amount. So on that piece, on the voted piece, it raised the taxable value or the revenue collected by quite a bit on the voted mill. So combine the two of them together, our revenue is up 7.6%. So it doubles it because of the voted mill piece. The weed department has, they left about $500,000 this year on the board that they did not tax the people for. They've got 2.5 voted mills that went to 2.93, I do believe. They did not collect the full amount. The animal shelter did, public health did, and public health is one of the big ones that increased quite a bit because of all the Uncle Joe money that we've been getting in. We did not have to tax the taxpayers as much, but that went from 1.5 mills last year to full 5 this 5.83 or 93 is what it is this year. And then the search and rescue, they've been one of the last 3 years now have just requested the $48,000 what it started with. So their mill levy, they're actually leaving. They're not taxing the people close to $25,000 again this year. That they have the authority to do. They do not need the money this year, so they've requested just to leave their budget authority the same as last year. So to use the two numbers different. The only other big thing is, as part of the value last year, we had to assess 2 mills for the ice flood, plus 1 mill for the study commission. That money was collected and spent on the ice jam. I think there's just a couple $1,000s left in that fund that we can only be spent for another next disaster. And then the mill that we collected for the study commission is cash in the bank. That's what they're still operating on, that same mill levy to go through this year. And to finish, if they're going to put it on the ballot, it ain't on there. So those mills didn't have to be collected this year, which helps a little bit. So that's the budget piece, I guess, of where we're spending money. And I guess we'll get a lot of details when we got to do the MD&A of which funds are up, which ones are down. But pretty much typical 5% increase on budget. And with that, I guess if there's no questions, I move adoption of the budget. Resolution, whatever that number is.
Second.
All in favor, signify by aye. Motion carries. Resolution number 2025-22, resolution setting mill levies, Beaverhead County, fiscal year 2025. Is that the one we just did?
No, mill levies is actually
Yeah, right.
setting the mills.
Yeah.
The other one is setting the budget
Okay, yep.
of how much we can send. And this is the one authority that they get, is our job, I guess, is we set the mill levies that's requested by the county that we just did. We were requested by the schools to do that many mill levies. We were requested on the bottom part of the Schedule A of the cemetery district, of all the 5 fire departments across the county, along with 2 of their voted mills. This includes the conservation district that has a few of the mill levies across this county. So that sets the mills for all the other agencies, and that's our duty. They set their budget, but we tell, it's our job as commissioners to set how much money we're collecting from the taxpayers to pay for those funds that they do their budgets on. And this is the form that basically Kathy Huckey gets to get the set of mills. So if there's no questions on setting the mills, I'd move that adoption.
All in favor, signify by aye. Motion carries.
Smoky G's.
Get that taken care of.
May I ask a couple questions?
Yeah.
What are the biggest standout changes? Like, any specific budgets that went really high?
The biggest one, probably in particular, if you get looked through, is public health. And, public health,
Yeah.
that, because of COVID, they got so much money pushed that direction, just because of the health factors of it, that I hate to say it that way, they could hardly spend it fast enough. But anyway, they had it, they did it, and with their 5 voted mills, the last 2 years, we've only assessed 1.5 mills. Which means last year we collected from the taxpayers $54,800 for public health. This year they went to the full amount, so that amount we're collecting from the taxpayers on that one fund is $182,800. So that went up quite a bit. I mean, that's the biggest value there, and it puts it back into basically where we. If you put inflation factor into it, where it was 2 or 3 years ago before COVID, how much we collected for public health. So it's extreme, but leaving last year, there was 130,000 that we did not tax the people for the last 2 years. So you got to take that into consideration and new stuff over there. Our new health director has got another $250,000 grant into this thing on that new mental health position she's got that will only last 3 years. So she's quite a hustler, I guess, I shouldn't call her hustler, but she's remarkably doing well as a new transition from a 25-year history of a health nurse over there. So really is doing good. She's pretty sharp on her budget. And look, used it well there the last couple of years through COVID, I think. So that's the biggest one. Even the sheriff's office, combining the coroner, which isn't a big dollar amount. We're talking $30-some thousand. They used to go into the pocket of the coroner, and now it's basically going into the pocket of the deputy coroners, the sheriff and the deputy coroners that are doing their job. And we did have enough money in that budget to authorize hiring a new deputy mid-year, so it's only gonna be half-time. We'll only have to pay for half of it this year. We're gonna have to worry about what to do with the other half of that next year, but.
How big are we talking for that budget?
Huh?
How big is that budget
The sheriff budget?
in this, for sheriff's department? How
Oh,
big is it?
The coroners?
Sheriff,
The sheriff budget?
The public safety budget overall, I think is what you
yes,
mean.
yes,
2.516, 2,516,000.
which I'm guessing did not just go up that 30,000, it was just, what else went up?
That 35 is not in there. We left it in the general fund go up.
How much did the bump to employee and commissioner and all those pays for a year, how much was that?
92 cents, what was that? I can't,
Yeah, 90,
it was a 92 cent
92 cents
raise.
an hour.
across how many employees?
That
I'm just looking at the round number, what is
100,
on your budget?
100 or 95 probably.
There you go.
Give or take, yeah, about 95.
I'm still curious, I'm still gonna work, I haven't had time to do it, but, the total, that $13 million to spend, how much is payroll? That, that's the big thing, it's probably 80%, other than,
I wouldn't doubt it, especially if you put all of those with payroll. Real people industry, I think, but services, yeah.
And you will get the copies, Ms. Dana? School budgets too, right?
Yeah, it's attached in there.
Cool. Awesome, thank you very much. See you guys next time.
And then leave the door open.
I gotta figure.